Eunjung touched the edge of her bowl. The ceramic was warm. Warmth is always innocent. Not here, she said, and the line had the tone their mother used when ending quarrels that threatened to grow teeth. Not in this place. They sat back, as if the chairs had become instructions. The voice cooled. Someone's spoon tapped someone else's bowl by accident, and the sound seemed to declare a truce. Temporary, but real. After lunch, they stepped into the rain that had decided to stop, pretending it would leave. Cars hummed by on the riverside road, and the city looked washed, but not clean. The family hovered on the sidewalk, that gathering then parting gravity that follows every shared meal. "We'll meet tomorrow," Eunjung said, making it formal so the air would hold it. "At the lawyer's, 10 o'clock. "Fine," Myung-ho said. He looked at her, then at the river, then at his shoes, and for a moment he seemed like a man auditioning for the role of himself, unsure whether he should play it warmer or colder. "I'll bring the property files." "I'll bring the recording," Chol-soo said, lifting his phone like a promise. "I'll bring the bank book copies," Eunjung added, "and the pen." She didn't know why she kept mentioning it, except that objects sometimes agree to be anchors when people won't. They separated into weather and directions. Soo-jin walked with Young-hee toward the bus stop, their umbrella a moving tent. Jin-guk smoked in the lee of a lamppost, then crushed the butt with a care that looked like reverence. Eunjung remained a moment longer under the restaurant awning, watching the river make its low arguments with the bridge. Myung-ho stayed too, unreadable. She wanted to say, "I know you," but the sentence needed a time machine. Instead she said, "Tomorrow." He nodded. "Tomorrow." They stood listening to the rain's small applause for a performance neither of them had enjoyed. Then they went their separate ways, carrying their versions of their mother into an afternoon that would not choose a colour. The lawyer's office smelled of polished wood and the kind of air that believes in order. Framed certificates lined the wall, each one proclaiming that justice could be printed and hung. Through the window, the city was beginning to thaw sunlight, dripped off the rooftops like melted patience. Eunjung arrived first. She always did. Her hair was still damp from the morning shower, and the folder under her arm was thick with documents, bank statements, photocopied deeds, handwritten notes she couldn't bear to discard. The receptionist guided her to the meeting room with the soft authority of someone used to leading the newly wounded. She sat down and took out her mother's fountain pen. It didn't work anymore. The ink had dried, but its weight steadied her. "You wrote lists with this," she thought. "Maybe today we'll write peace." One by one, the others arrived. Soo-jin and Young-hee came together, whispering. Chol-soo followed, wearing the same black suit he'd slept in. Jin-guk entered last, carrying a brown envelope that looked heavier than paper should. Then Myung-ho appeared, coat impeccable, eyes tired but calculating. He nodded to no one and took the seat opposite Eunjung. The lawyer, a man in his 50s, with rimless glasses and a voice like folded cloth, cleared his throat. "First," he said, "my condolences. I understand your mother's estate involves 3 residential properties, one of which may have sentimental or charitable intention attached." No one corrected him. He continued, "Legally, without a notarized will, inheritance follows statutory rule, equal division among direct descendants." His eyes moved from face to face, pausing at Eunjung's, then at Myung-ho's. "However, I am told there are special circumstances." Eunjung slid the phone forward. "There's a recording." Her voice. "We'd like it included as her intent." The lawyer listened. The room filled again with that trembling whisper. "My children love each other, don't hate." When the recording ended, silence claimed its familiar chair. The lawyer folded his hands. "A touching message," he said gently, "but the law requires precision signatures, witnesses." Myung-ho nodded once, quickly, as if agreement were a reflex. "Exactly. We follow procedure." "Procedure," Soo-jin muttered. "That's what you call it when you erase a mother's voice." "Don't twist it," he said. "I'm trying to protect what's ours." "Ours?" she snapped. "Or yours?" Eunjung raised a hand. "Please." Her tone was calm but carried a tremor that silenced the room faster than shouting could. "Mother asked for love, not litigation. Love doesn't pay inheritance tax," Myung-ho said quietly. "We need signatures, bank transfers, deeds retitled. It's arithmetic, not emotion." "And arithmetic never lied?" Soo-jin said. "Enough," Eunjung cut in. "Let's hear the rest." The lawyer cleared his throat again. "If all parties agree, I can draft a memorandum of understanding, equal division of the 3 properties, pending valuation." Chol-soo leaned forward. "And what about Seo-jin?" The lawyer blinked. "I'm sorry?" Eunjung closed her eyes. Not now, she thought, but the words stayed internal. "There's mention of a person named Seo-jin," Chol-Soo continued. In her notes, she might have wanted one house to go to him. The lawyer's pen stopped mid-word. Is this individual a relative? Myung-ho looked out the window. No, he said, then corrected himself. Not officially. Sujin folded her arms. But in reality, he didn't answer. The lawyer sighed. If your mother supported someone outside the family, we can check financial records for any documented intent. Otherwise, legally, assets remain within the lineal descendants. Eunjung spoke softly. She didn't think in lines. She thought in circles. The lawyer smiled politely, the way professionals do, when poetry enters the room uninvited. Circles are difficult to file. Kim. The meeting went on. Numbers replaced names. Clauses replaced memories. By noon, papers filled the table like fallen leaves. Each sibling signed or refused to sign in turn. The sound of pens on paper became the new language of the family. When it was over, the lawyer stacked the folders neatly. I'll prepare the draft. You'll each receive a copy for review. If disputes remain, mediation is advised before litigation. No one moved to leave. The air felt denser now, full of words that had lost their usefulness. Eunjung rose first. I'll make lunch, she said, though none of them would come. She picked up the pen, placed it in her bag, and walked to the door. Mother would have laughed at this. Sujin followed her out. She'd have made us wash dishes together, she said. No one leaves until the sink is clean. Behind them, Chol-Soo lingered. Hyung, he said softly to Myung-ho. You know what she wanted. Myung-ho stared at the documents. I know what she said. I just don't know if that's enough. It was enough for her, Chol-Soo replied. When he left, Myung-ho stayed seated, the office emptying around him. The lawyer's assistant stacked chairs, humming faintly. Outside, traffic pulsed, steady and indifferent. He opened his briefcase, took out the old property, recalled the one with his mother's handwriting in the margin, and traced her name with his thumb. The ink had faded, but the pressure marks remained. Grooves in the paper like veins. She built it, he whispered, and I'm the one tearing it apart. The words didn't ask for pity. They asked for witness, but the only witness was the city beyond the glass, and cities have no ears, only memory. Chapter 3. The Recorded Will. The day after the meeting dawned cleaner than it deserved to. The rain had gone north, leaving behind a city rinsed, but uneasy, like a mourner who had washed their body without washing their heart. Sunlight found the lawyer's windows and broke into stripes across the desks, laying gold bars on the paperwork they had left behind. Eunjung returned before the office opened. She had slept little, her dreams crowded with doors that refused to stay shut. When the receptionist recognized her, she only nodded and led her to the same room. Everything was as yesterday had left it. Papers stacked, chairs misaligned, a faint scent of sandalwood clinging to the air, as if her mother had visited during the night to tidy what law could not. She placed her phone on the table. The recording waited there, a single file labelled Mother Last Night. It felt wrong to have something so sacred reduced to pixels and battery life. She hesitated, thumb hovering over play, when the door opened behind her. Couldn't sleep either? Myung-ho asked. His voice had softened overnight. Guilt makes even baritones quieter. I wanted to hear her again, Eunjung said, without everyone arguing. He closed the door, hung his coat neatly. Go ahead. She pressed play. At first, only air. Then the fragile rhythm of oxygen, the tremor of a throat remembering how to be alive. Finally, the words. Our children, my houses, not mine, together, don't hate him. A pause, the kind that is part sigh, part punctuation, all together. Static followed, gentle as breath. Then silence seemed to wait for an answer. Eunjung looked at her brother. It sounds clearer today. Or maybe we're listening differently, he said. They replayed it 3 times, each hearing something the other didn't, an almost laugh between syllables, a breath that could have been the beginning of another word. Memory is an editor without mercy. After the 3rd play, Myung-ho exhaled. She said, Don't hate him. Who did she mean? You, Eunjung said simply. He winced, but didn't deny it. I don't know why she thought she had to ask for that, she said. Because she knew we would. He sat down, the chair sighing under him. Do you think it counts? Legally, I mean. Legally? Maybe not. Spiritually? Absolutely.